Hi everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in this video tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do a variation of the star stitch. It's going to be the double crochet star stitch. And this design is a variation by myself, so hopefully you'll be able to manage to follow along. And I'm going to be using some DK light worsted weight yarns, yarn weight of 3. And with that I'm going to be using a 3.5mm E4 crochet hook. But you can use any yarn or crochet hook that you like. Okay, so let's begin. Let's show you how to make this pattern. Okay, so let's begin, and if you stay tuned at the end of this tutorial I should also be giving some details on a yarn competition that you can enter, which is to do with my forthcoming crochet along, so if you want to check that out at the end of the video. But for this stitch what we're going to do is we're going to work to multiples of 2 plus 1. So basically you want to count in the two times table, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, so on and so forth. And when you've worked out how many of those you want to do, you just add 1 on the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 22 to get my 2 times table. So you just literally do 1, 2, then another 2, 3 and 4, then another 2, 5 and 6. So just the 2 times table, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to do 22, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I've chained 22, so that's going to be my unit of 2. So when you've got as many 2 times tables that you want, you just want to add 1 extra chain on the end. So I'm going to add 1 to my 22 to get 23. So I have now chained 23, but however many you've chained, so I've chained 22 plus 1 equals 23. So whatever final chain amount you've done, you want to then minus 3 to then get your stitch count for your project. So my stitch count for my project is going to be 20. So it's going to be 23 and then take away 3. So it's going to be 20. Okay, but then what we're going to do is we are going to do some double crocheting together. So this pattern's in US terminology. In UK terminology that's going to be a treble. So we're going to do some double crochets together, and we're going to start off in our 3rd chain from our hook. So we don't count the loop on our hook. There's our first one, 1, 2 and 3, and in there we're going to start our first double crocheting together. So we're going to yarn over, go into that 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, put our hook into there. And we're just going to start off doing a double crochet. So we're going to bring the yarn through that chain, then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 as if doing a normal double crochet, but then we're going to stop. And this is where we're going to work into the next one. So we're going to double crochet 5 chains together in total. So that was our first. We're going to yarn over again, go into the next chain. And please excuse the state of my nails because I was doing loads of DIY yesterday. Trying to add more shelving for my yarn stash, as you do. Then you yarn over, pull through 2 again, but then we stop again. That was our second one. Yarn over again and go into our 3rd chain, our next chain. Bring the yarn through, and again we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops only. Then we're going to stop, yarn over again, go into our 4th stitch, our next one. Bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops again, then stop, yarn over for the last time and go into our 5th stitch, our next stitch. Bring the yarn through, same thing again, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then you should have 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should have worked into 5 chains, and this was just the loop that was already on your hook there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over, pull through all 6 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it creates this cute little shape here. And you've basically double crocheted 5 stitches together, but you went through 6 loops because you already had a loop on your hook. Then to secure that, we're just going to do a chain 1. That creates a little hole there. Then we're going to work our next set of double crocheting together. But what we're going to do, we're going to double crochet 5 stitches together as sorts, but the first 3 are going to be based along the edge of the last double crochet. So we're going to start off first of all in this little chain 1 space stitch here that we created. Don't forget to yarn over. I'm going to start off our double crocheting together for the next one in this little space. So put your hook into that little chain 1 stitch you just did, bring the yarn through, and again pull through 2 loops only, as if doing a normal double crochet, but then stop. Then we're going to yarn over, and the next one is going to go in between these 2 double crochets. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochets, although the last one is made up of your 3 chains. We're counting that as a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in between 5 and 6, pull it apart, should be a big gap. We're going to put our hook into there, bring the yarn through between those double crochets, again yarn over, pull through 2, then stop, yarn over, always yarn over before you go into your stitches. Then we're going to go into the same chain as our last chain from this set, so this one here. I'm going to go into there again, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're back to our proper chains on our chain row. So we yarn over, go into the next chain. This is our 4th stitch, as it were. Yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over into the next chain, 5th. This is our last one. Yarn over, pull through 2. So we've yarned over and gone into the little chain 1 space. Then we've gone in between our double crochets, the last 2 double crochets. Then we went into the same chain, our last one we worked into for this set. Then we went into the next 2 on the actual chain row. Again, you should have 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We yarn over, pull through all 6 to finish our next starburst type thing. Then we're going to chain 1 to create our next little loop for our next one. We're going to do that all the way across. So start again, yarn over, because we're doing double crochet. Start off in this little 1 chain stitch you just created. Bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Stop, yarn over, go in between the 5th and the 6th double crochet from your last set. Bring the yarn through, and you're wrapping it around that double crochet. Pull through 2. Stop, yarn over, go into the same chain that you last worked into. Here is quite big, quite obvious. Yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, and then we're into our proper chains on our chain row. So into the next chain, this will be our 4th one. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next chain, 5th and last one. So we always work 2 on the main row. That's why we work 2 units of 2. Pull through 2. Got your 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops to complete your next one. Then chain 1. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way to the end, doing exactly the same thing. Yarn over into the 1 chain stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over in between your double crochets, and find the space in between, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the same chain worked into from the last set, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next proper chain, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next proper chain, yarn over, pull through 2, 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, and then chain 1 to secure and to create your next stitch. Okay, so let's do this all the way to the end. To the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, then in between your double crochets, the same chain as the last set. Yarn over into the next proper chain. Bending the other way. Pull through 2, yarn over into the next chain. So we only ever do 2 on the main chain row. Pull through 2, should have 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6. Chain 1, that's ready for your next one. To the chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over in between your double crochet, your 5th and 6th double crochet. Pull through 2. Yarn over into the same chain as your last set. Yarn over, pull through 2. Then yarn over into the next proper chain. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over into the next chain. Pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through all 6. Chain 1. Okay, just keep doing that to the end. Last 2 chains, through 2, yarn over into the very last chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 6, and then chain 1. But what we're actually going to do to make sure our stitch count stays at 20 is at the very end we're going to finish with a 3 double crochet together. So we're going to yarn over again, go back into that 1 chain stitch just like before, pull through 2, then stop, yarn over in between the double crochets just like before, yarn over, pull through 2, but then stop, yarn over into that very last chain you just worked into, yarn over, pull through 2, and you've got 4 loops. We're going to stop there, yarn over, pull through all 4. So it's like half a set, as it were, half a little star set. And by the end of that round, that row, you should have a stitch count of 20. So if you remember me saying at the beginning, you do your 2 times table, then you add 1, then subtract 3 to get your stitch count. So in this case I did 22 plus 1 to get 23, take away 3 is of course 20, so that will be my, should be my stitch count. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 and 20 is the top of those little chains. Okay, so let's move on to row 2. And row 2, we're going to chain 1, don't count that as a stitch, and turn. It's just going to be a turning stitch. We're going to start off with 1 double crochet. Okay, so now we need to find we're going to be working into these 1 chain spaces. Remember here we worked into these little 1 chain spaces at the beginning of each set. We're going to be working into those all the way along here, these little gaps, 1 chain spaces. But first of all, we're just going to work into this very first stitch here. So find your first stitch. There's your 1 chain space. You need to find your first stitch. So your 1 chain space is actually your second stitch. So find your first stitch and in there do 1 double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet 2 together, and we're going to start that in the same stitch as we've just done this double crochet. So yarn over, go back into that same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, but then stop, yarn over and go into that 1 chain stitch, okay, which is at the center of this little star. It's actually the next stitch along. Back into there, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. You've got 3 loops when yarning, when double crocheting 2 together. You've got 3 loops at the end. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and that double crochets 2 together. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in that little center of the star, that 1 chain space. So do a 1 double crochet in there. So you're going back into that same stitch. 1 double crochet in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this pattern all the way across, but just in these 1 chain spaces here, the center of these starbursts here. It's where you started each set. It's in that little 1 chain space. So what we're going to do, after you've done your 1 double crochet in there, we're going to double crochet 2 of these 1 chain spaces together. So we're going to go back in here again. So go back in there again after your double crochet. Bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over and find your next 1 chain space along. If you just pull your work apart, you should see the little hole there. Okay, so it's about 1 inch over. Go into there, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so that double crochets 2 of those 1 chain spaces together. So we started off in the very first stitch doing a double crochet. Then we did a double crochet 2 together in that first stitch on our first 1 chain space. Then we did a double crochet in that 1 chain space, and then we started doing double crochet 2 together, starting in that 1 chain space and then ending in the next 1 chain space. Then we're going to do a double crochet in this 1 chain space. We're just going to repeat this pattern basically. So go back in there again and do a double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet the next 2 together, but starting in the same one. So go back in there again, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over into the next 1 chain space, yarn over, pull through 2, got your 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So can you see that pattern happening? So you end up with sort of 3 stitches in each. So you're double crocheting the 2 1 chain spaces together, sticking in a double crochet in the middle, double crochet in the next 2 together. You just repeat that all the way along. So we do 1 double crochet in there as well, and then we start our next double crochet together. So go back in there again, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, find your next 1 chain space, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So there's our next one. Then we do 1 double crochet in there, and then we double crochet the next 2 together, starting in this one again. So back in there, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over into the next one, pull through 2, pull through all 3. Then we do our 1 double crochet in there as well. Okay, double crochet 2 together, but starting in there, starting in the same 1 chain space, stop, yarn over into the next one. To find the next one, just pull your project apart so you see that gap. Pull through 2, pull for all 3. Then 1 double crochet in there as well, in the middle. Then our next double crochet 2 together, starting in there as well. So back in there again, pull through 2, stop, yarn over into the next 1 chain space, pull through 2, pull through all 3. Then 1 double crochet in there. Hopefully it's starting to make sense. Double crochet 2 together, starting in the same stitch, pull through 2, stop, yarn over into the next 1 chain space, pull through 2, pull through all 3. Then a double crochet in there, and almost there. Do our next double crochet 2 together, starting in the same stitch as the next one, pull through all 3, 1 double crochet in there as well, and then that was our last 1 chain space. So after that double crochet, what we're going to do is we're going to end in the top of our 3 chain. So we're going to do a double crochet together. We're going to start it in here, so yarn over, starting there as normal, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over. You don't have a 1 chain space to work into, but you need to find the top of that 3 chain at the beginning. See, 1, 2, 3. So just find the top of that 3rd chain, and that's where we're going to finish it. It's the only time you have to do this. Okay, that hasn't gone in properly. And third chain. Again, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so that's the end of that row. I hope that made sense. So you started off with 1 double crochet in the first stitch, then you do your first double crochet 2 together, starts in the first stitch and ends in that first 1 chain space, and then you repeat the pattern of doing 1 double crochet in there, double crochet them 2 together, starting in the same stitch and ending in the next one, all the way across till you get to the end. Double crochet the last 2 together, do your 1 double crochet in there as well, and then your last double crochet together starts in that last 1 chain space but ends in the top of that 3 chain. So that's the first 2 rows of our little double crochet star flower stitch design, and your stitch count should still be 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so let's move on to the third row, and it's the third and the fourth row that you just repeat over and over again. Okay, so for the third row we do a little chain 1. Again, don't count that as a stitch, just use it as a turning stitch and turn your work. We're going to start doing those 5 double crochets together like we did on the very first row again, but at the very beginning we're just going to do 2 double crochet together. So starting in, we're just working into proper stitches now at the top, so I'm not working into 1 chain space, it's proper stitches. So go into that first proper stitch at the beginning, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, but then stop, yarn over into the next stitch. We're only double crocheting these 2 together, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're just double crocheting the first 2 together, but we're still going to do our little chain 1 at the end. Okay, so it's like a mini starburst at the beginning, but then we're going to follow exactly the same pattern as we did on the first row. So we're going to yarn over, starting in that 1 chain space you just created, a little 1 stitch. Put your hook into there, get a little bit fiddly on this one. Okay, so go into there, that 1 chain you just created, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, then go in between your 2 double crochets you've just made, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, go into the same stitch as your last double crochet from the last set, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and then we're into proper stitches on the main row. So just like we did with the chains, next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and you've got your 6 loops, so it's the same as this now. We yarn over, pull through all 6, and do a chain 1 to finish. So it might start to look a bit familiar now as this first row, and we're just going to do that all the way across. Exactly the same thing again. We yarn over, go into your little 1 chain stitch you just created, yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. I always find the pull through 2 on the very first one the hardest. There we go. Yarn over, then in between the last 2 double crochets of your previous set, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the same stitch as your last double crochet from the previous set, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, then into the next stitch, pull through 2, yarn over into the next stitch. So we only do 2 stitches at a time on the main row. Pull through 2, don't forget to pull through 2, 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6, chain 1 to finish. So repeat that all the way across to the end. the same between the double crochets in the same stitch into the last 2 stitches, and you should have proper stitches to work into this time, so don't forget that last one on the end rather than chains. Pull through all 6, do your little chain one. This time we're not going to end on doing half a set, we're literally going to stop on a proper star stitch. So we just end there, so it's exactly the same pattern. We started off with double crocheting 2 together, and then we did double crocheting 5 bits together all the way to the end. We're just going to stop there, so don't do any extra stitches at the end. You should find your stitch count at the top is still 20. Then we're going to move on to the 4th row, so we're going to do a little chain 1 from there and turn. And this time it's pretty much exactly the same as the 2nd row. We're going to yarn over and we're going to start off in this 1 chain space, doing 1 double crochet in there. So we've got a nice proper 1 chain space to work into this time. Then we're going to do our double crocheting 2 together over the 1 chain spaces. So starting that first one, pull through 2, stop, yarn over, find your next 1 chain space. Pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Double crochet those 2 together. Then if you remember the pattern, we do 1 double crochet in the same 1 chain space. Double crochet these 2 together. So starting in the same one, pull through 2, stop, yarn over into the next 1 chain space. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so find your 1 chain spaces, it's just the bigger hole. You can see it easily by just pulling your work apart. And repeat that all the way across to the other end. And we're just going to end with the 2 double crochet over the last 1 chain space, and but also a little something in the end. So, but just carry on doing 1 double crochet in the same 1 chain space. Then double crochet 2 1 chain spaces together, starting in the same one you're in. Pull through 2. Oh, I lost it. Through 2, yarn over into the next one. Pull for all 3. Then 1 double crochet in the same space. Double crochet 2 1 chain spaces together. The next one. 1 double crochet, double crochet 2 together. One double crochet, double crochet 2 together, starting in the same one. One double crochet, double crochet 2 together. So this is virtually the same as row 2, but it just ends slightly differently because we managed to start in a proper 1 chain space. It means it's going to end slightly differently here. Double crochet 2 together. 1 double crochet. Okay, so we're nearly at the end. That looks like the last 1 chain space, but there is actually one just along there. So there's pretty much like 1 stitch in between each 1 chain space. So it looks like there's 2 stitches there. If you can just see where the last one is on the ends there. So we've done our 1 double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet 2 together as before, starting in this one, yarn over, find that last, you just turn it over. If you can't quite see it, just count 2 stitches along. The second one will be your 1 chain space to there. Double crochet those 2 together, then do 1 double crochet, in the same one chain space, and then we're going to finish on double crocheting 2 bits together. We're going to start off in the same one chain space, so yarn over, go into the same one chain space, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, and then just, it looks like a little stitch on the end there. We're just going to put our hook into there, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 to finish our double crochet 2 together. And then your stitch count should be 20 by the end of that row. Okay, so that is basically all you have to do, is repeat the last 2 rows, 3 and 4, over and over and over again, and you'll end up with this pattern. So again, we go back to row 3. What we did there is we do a little chain 1 and turn. Start off with 2 double crochet together, so working into normal stitches, if you remember. So go into the first stitch, pull through 2 and stop, into the next stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, pull for all 3, then do your little chain 1, and the rest should seem familiar, and do that all the way to the end, ending on a proper set. So yarn over, starting in that little 1 chain that you did, which is always the fiddliest because it's so small. That's why it's hard to miss on the way back at the end here. Next one, in between your 2 double crochets, pull through 2 into the same stitch as your last double crochet, through 2, and then into the next 2 proper stitches. So it's exactly the same as row 3. 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6, chain 1, and just do that all the way across. Okay, so just coming up to the last one on this row, same thing, start in the 1 chain space, in between your double crochets, in the same stitch, you should have 2 stitches remaining. Oops, totally missed that. Pull through all 6. Don't forget your little chain 1, and that's where we're going to finish. So that's the same as the 3rd row, and then the 4th row again. I'll show you. Chain 1. Don't count that as a stitch, and turn. And you've got a proper 1 chain space straight away to begin. So we're going to start off with 1 double crochet in there. Double crochet 2 together, starting in the same 1 chain space. Pull through 2, stop, yarn over, find your next 1 chain space by just pulling your project apart. It's all these big holes at the top of your 1 chain spaces. It's actually it's kind of like skipping 1 stitch and then it's the next stitch basically. Pull through 2, pull for all 3. So we double crochet those 2 together, 1 double crochet in the same stitch, double crochet the next 1 chain spaces together, and just repeat that all the way across. Okay, so I'm coming up to what looks like the last one because you can't pull apart to see the very last one at the end. So I'm just double crocheting these 2 together, do my 1 double crochet, and double crochet the next 2 together, starting in this one. But then the last one is literally, see where the stitches are coming out, it's just right on the edge there. That's where we want to go. So careful not to miss that one. Double crochet those 2 together, then you end on a double crochet in the same one, but we end on, finish on double crocheting 2 together, but we don't have any more 1 chain spaces, but we start in the last 1 chain space, pull through 2, yarn over, and then just turn it on its side, find that little next stitch along, put your hook into there, and that's where we're going to finish it. Pull through 2, pull through all 3, and that's the end of that row. So that's exactly the same as row 4. So you just repeat those 2 rows over and over again, repeating the little start, like sort of flower star pattern as you've got there. So that's the double crochet star flower stitch, my own variation. Hope you enjoy it, hope you can follow along. But I'm going to introduce you now to the little competition which you might have all been waiting for. So let me refocus and come back. Okay, so let's put our little project to the side. Now some of you may already know about this, you may not. Coming very, very soon is going to be a crochet along for my little doll here, my little amigurumi doll, and she's going to have some accessories as well, which I'm still designing, just finishing that up. But I'm running a competition on my website to win this little suitcase carry case I've got here, and inside are 9 balls of the yarn, cotton yarn, that you'll be using for the crochet along that you will need. This is the exact yarn that I'll be using in my crochet tutorials. So if you'd like to win 9 balls of this yarn, we've got a nice yellow, white, light blue, we've got the little pink, we've got purple, we've got a dark pink, got green, we've got black, and that is a dark brown colour there. So you can alternate between skin colours, you can alternate between eye colour, hair colour, whatever you like. There should be enough yarn here for variations. But if you'd like to win this and the little cute suitcase carry case to go with it, then just head to my website at happyberry.co.uk, and there should be directions on there on how to enter and how to win this yarn basically. So until then, I will see you soon for some more crochet fun. The winner will be announced next Friday, so you've only got a week to enter, and it's open to everyone, so go and check that out. But I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial for this little stitch, and I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.